Hey guys, I'm hiding. I'm behind this tree. I'm in an undisclosed location behind an undisclosed tree. I'm going to tell you why I deleted that video I made this morning about the predictions for 2019. Okay, I'm not really in hiding. This is my big ginormous red oak tree, and I'm still on the homestead. See there? I'm just a little bit into the wood lines. The wood line back here. Okay, so some of you may have noticed that this morning I did a morning ramble called something about psychic predictions for 2019. It was up for maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes. Then it disappeared. It's because I deleted it, and here's why. And guys, this is why I don't have cable television, and this is why I'm just very careful about what I put in my mind, in my head. Okay, so I saw this crazy thing online today, the 2019 predictions, psychic predictions. I read it for entertainment purposes, and it was the same thing as 2018, 2017. It was doom and gloom, conspiracy theory type. Ice balls from outer space going to destroy the world. Mankind was going to destroy the world. All this stuff, right? So I'm laughing. I read off the top 10 up here in the ramble. I go back down to the house. I upload it, publish it on YouTube. But the whole time, you know, while I was reading it this morning, while I was talking about it, while I made the video, and then while I was uploading it, I just kept thinking about all these possible worst case scenario things, and my mind being manic as it is and questioning everything like it does, which, you know, isn't always a bad thing, but sometimes it can be. Like when you're alone in a mind like mine, it's kind of like spending the night in the camp of your enemies. You got to be careful. I start turning all these things over in my head. Oh no, what if that's right? What if this happened? What if this came true? What if this really happened? So the video's on there. It's on there for about 30 minutes, and you know, we can look and see like how our videos are doing. And in the first hour of those morning rambles, we generally get anywhere from 400 views to 1,000 views, depending upon what time we upload them, how many people's online. But that's pretty much the norm. Well, after an hour, there had only been like 92 views, and I panicked. And I looked, and all of our videos, there's no views, nothing's coming in. I'm like, oh no. I was talking about these conspiracy theories things, and I was spreading doom and gloom, and so you know, YouTube's mad at me now, and they hate us, and they're like closing down our channel. I'm like, oh no, and I panicked, and I deleted the video. So I was like, oh, I hope it's not too late to like, and I told Dearly, I'm like, honey, guess what I did? I was stupid. I talked about all this crazy stuff. I was just talking about it. I didn't say I believe this stuff was going to happen, because I don't. I said I was just talking about it, and I think YouTube's coming after us with an axe. And she looked at me and she said, you're crazy, honey. It's a glitch. I'm like, huh? So I Google it. I look, you know, I go to like the YouTube problems down detector or whatever, and it was like 9:50 a.m. It turns out YouTube was having some sort of problem. I still have not found specifically what the problem is, but it obviously had to do with live time, real time reporting, because that's where we were having our problem. So I'm like, I don't know, honey. Maybe they, whoever they are, you know, didn't like what I said, because I was talking about all these things that are going to happen and no one's supposed to know. Because by this time I'd had this conspiracy theory stuff in my head all morning, and I guess I was buying it hook, line, and sinker. And it all reminds me of, there's an old Stephen King short story which they actually adapted into a movie. It was called The Night Flyer. How many of you saw that? It was a story about a tabloid writer who was hunting down this vampire. There was a vampire who lived out of an airplane. He used his little Cessna airplane as a coffin, slept in it by day, but then he flew at night and took out his prey at night. And that's why they call it The Night Flyer. Well, this tabloid writer didn't believe any of this stuff. He was chasing down the lead for the story, trying to get a good story. It's not that he really believed any of it, but of course there at the end you found out that it was true. But he says a line in the movie and in the short story, which of course was better. And when he talks about when you're writing this kind of stuff, tabloid type rubbish, which is what I used to write for years, which I made good money writing. And, you know, I made a video about that. It's called Confessions of a Reformed Fake News Writer. If I can remember to do so, I'll put it on the end of this one. But he said in that story, he said, never believe anything you write and never write anything you believe. And when you write or tell these conspiracy theory story things, that's something you've got to live by, because if not, you will die by it. So here this gobbledygook got in my head. I'm convinced YouTube hates us because they were having a glitch, and because I talked about these predictions, these psychic predictions of 2019, I delete the video, then I run and I hide behind a big giant red oak tree. Well, that's not really how it ended. I have not been up here hiding for the last 7 hours behind this red oak tree. I Googled it. I found out there was some sort of glitch going on around 9:50 East Coast time. That was my rooster Roger screaming. Could it be aliens? I think that was part of the predictions too. An increase in alien activity and UFO activity. Ooh. So anyway, yeah, you can Google it. Google like YouTube down detector, and you'll see they had a problem at 9:50 a.m. Eastern time this morning. That's when all this was going on. So I found that, and I said, you know what, dearly, you're right. Once again, you are the voice of reason. I thought, Kevin, be reasonable. You're always talking about, you know, objectivism and using logic over emotions and all this stuff. So I come outside, I start cutting firewood, and as I come out, I look over and I see the little bird roosting box that I built about a month ago for Miss Virginia, who goes by Verge. I think she's in Illinois, one of our subscribers. It was her 65th birthday, I believe. She mentioned that in the comments, so we dedicated that bird box to her. And I noticed the most beautiful little eastern bluebirds just coming in and out of that box. That's one of my favorite birds. And I thought, you know, the reality of it is, Kevin, this is a beautiful world. It's not going to end next year because some bozos are saying it does. Just no more than it did the year after that. And YouTube doesn't all of a sudden hate you because you put up a video where you talked about these crazy things these other crazy people were talking about. You know, I got my tractor. I didn't walk up here today because I'm still going to go down there and work on some wood. Tractor. You like that? Tractor. It's a lawnmower, but it makes me feel more like a farmer if I say tractor, but it's a lawnmower. Dearly always reminds me of that. Okay, so anyway, I guess the point of all this is you know, I'm glad I deleted that video because it was like these 10 predictions that were just totally insane, total conspiracy theory, doom and gloom type stuff. And without the glitch, I mean, it's possible that hundreds of you actually saw that video. The numbers just weren't being reported, which is probably the reality of it. But probably over a 24-hour period, probably 2,000 to 2,500 of you would have watched that. And that would have been really nasty for me to put that stuff in your head. I know you wouldn't have believed it any more than I do. I mean, maybe there's some of you out there that do, but we have got to be so careful. Just like, you know, everybody's talking about what we put in our bodies. You know, don't put gluten in your bodies is what I've heard ever since I've come back to the U.S. 3 years ago. When I left like 10 years ago, it was carbohydrates. Carbohydrates were the enemy. Nobody wanted to eat carbs. Everybody was on the Atkins diet. Now I'm back. These millennials don't know who Dr. Atkins were, but they know everything about gluten. They just can't tell me what it is. And I'm not knocking on people that have food allergies. I know those are real. And I know that, you know, but it's just like, that's the thing, gluten. Everything's gluten-free everywhere I go. But no one talks about being careful about what we're putting in our minds. And I kind of got like a reminder here. You know, I was doing this for entertainment. I read it for entertainment. Usually I'll see that stuff in the mornings online when I'm having my coffee, when I'm on cup number 2 after I've had the first cup and I've come up with my gratitude list. I'll have my second cup and I'll get online. I'll start looking at, you know, comments that came in over the night or overnight and seeing what the news is sometimes, ignoring most of it. But I saw that and I was drawn to it. You know, there's a word for that thing. I think they call it clickbait. And when I saw my doctor at the VA a couple months ago, we were talking about that. We were laughing at ourselves because we always click on that stuff. And he was like, I don't get it. He goes, I'm a doctor. I have a medical degree, yet I'll click on these things. Why? And I think what it is, and this is where we start to be a little bit easier on ourselves and not judge ourselves so harshly, it's because we're all humans. We're all human beings. And I mean, it's the curious. It's these things strike our curiosity. That's a beautiful sunset up there. You know, yesterday morning I said, look at this sunset. And it was sunrise, and that's actually how I started the video this morning. But this is a sunset. Check it out. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's like a ball of fire back there in the trees. Is it going to end the world? Is that planet X Nibiru? No, it's just the sun. So anyway, guys, I wanted to come on here and tell you where that video went because some people have asked about it in the comment section. But the point of it, the main point is not just where the video went and why, but it's why it went there. And again, that was just kind of like a reminder to myself about, you know, gluten, fat, carbohydrates, whatever. I'm going to be equally cautious going forward about what I put in my mind, just as much as I am about what I put in my body. And we did hang some crayons today, by the way. So keep your crayon requests coming in, your holiday, Christmas requests for your ornaments of inspiration coming in. We haven't forgotten that or stopped doing that, just haven't talked about it for the last couple of days. So thanks for being with me for another morning ramble, which is taking place late afternoon here, but now you know why. And I'm not going to go hide behind my tree again. There's no need for that. I'll give you another beautiful parting shot of the homestead here at sundown in the late afternoon. We'll see you for more next time from here at Homesteading Off the Grid.